Alexa, studio lights on. How's everybody doing today? Hey guys, my name is Thomas Brush, and I make indie games for a living. And some of you may have seen, and I figured I'd just do a video updating. My son was born it's been a blur. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And it was pretty, let me move this. It was pretty cool, pretty exciting. This is my second kid, by the way. Some of you don't know that I have 2 kids. I'm 30 years old. I got married pretty young, right out of college, and me and my wife started to have kids. And I wanted to make a video to just sort of, it's not really a super hyper polished video, but I kind of want to explain my personality and how I am the last person who should have a child, but why it's been the greatest thing on planet Earth for me to have a child. So I can't remember when it was like a decade ago. Was it really a decade ago? There's no way. It may have been. It was like right before I went to college or something. Yeah. And me and my girlfriend, who's my wife at the time, I was taking a personality test, and the personality test said that I'm like gonna be a bad dad or something. It said something like your personality is one that will find having kids to be something that gets in the way of you, gets in the way of your motivation, gets in the way of your career. And so that kind of made me nervous, and I think that made my wife nervous, or my girlfriend, who is my wife now, nervous, because we wanted to have kids, but I also knew that I was a super driven, motivated person, and that's who I am right now. I'm a very motivated, very confident person. I have this almost foolish view of myself that I'm somehow gonna help change the world and do great things and be a great artist and blah blah blah. Excuse me. And yeah, so the personality test said that I'm gonna be irritated by children, and I'll tell you one thing. That's true. I'm the kind of person who does get irritated quickly, who is impatient, who loves to work. I love working, and I am also I cling tightly to my time. Like, I can be very generous with money and generous with a lot of things, with my stuff, but I am not generous with my time, and that's just me being honest. And so what I learned once I had kids was that prophecy of that personality test was true. I am not naturally a good dad. And I think a lot of you watching this video who maybe you do have kids, maybe you don't, maybe you relate to that feeling of like, I am the last person on earth who should have a kid. Because that's definitely how I felt and still feel. I guess I'm just really lucky and blessed that I have a partner and a wife who is willing to help me be a better man in spite of my natural predispositions. So that's the first thing I wanted to say about this, about having a son. And by the way, his name is Silas. Now, what does this have to do with game development? Because all of you know that this YouTube channel is all about making games, making video games, making a career out of video games. Well, I think it has everything to do with it, because being a full-time game developer it requires a lot out of you, because it basically means you're going to be an entrepreneur. That's essentially what being a full-time game developer really means. That is, if you want to do it, as your own business that you're running, as opposed to working for like a AAA company. Well, when I in preparation for having my son, and also preparation for having my daughter, the weeks leading up to the birth, it's almost like clockwork. I get really nervous that my career, my time, my projects, my dreams are going to get snuffed out by having a child. And I think a lot of people, especially millennials, feel that way. And younger generations, they feel like, well, once you have a kid, it all goes out the window and you lose your identity and you're stuck. And that fear always sneaks up. But what I've found is that like I said earlier, with a good partner and a good attitude and planning and scheduling out your life and your dreams and your aspirations, treating your dreams and aspirations almost like a non-negotiable, you can not only make your dreams work within the paradigm of having children, it's actually that your children make your dreams and make your energy levels skyrocket. And I don't know if this is true for everybody, but I know it is true for me, that when I had a daughter and now with a son, my career has never been more, I've never been more motivated in my career as a game developer. And I've also never had as much success as I have now. I'm in the highest point in my career right now, and that's while having children. And trust me, and for those of you who are dads, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your story. But you guys know that having kids is so exhausting. It's a constant. You're constantly needed. And whether you're sleeping or whether you're awake, you're constantly needed, especially if you work from home. And in spite of all of that, the dreams, the aspirations, your career, it's not gone. In fact, I would argue it's more palpable, more present, and it should be more present in your mind, because you want to make not only games for yourself, but also you want to make games for your family. Somehow my view of what my indie game career is all about, it's not only just making great games. Like that's still there. It's also about building an empire or building a portfolio of games that provide wealth. And that's not bad, by the way, provide wealth and security for my family and my kids and hopefully my grandkids. So not only do I have that deep dream of just making great games and being an artist, but there's also I would argue, a deeper dream of building something huge for my family that, stays here after I'm gone. So that's how my kids motivate me. They force me to work hard for them, because I promise you, every day that you have a kid, the more you realize how that child means more to you than anything, any video game, any career aspiration. So suddenly your career aspirations transform from being all about you to being about your family. So that's why I recommend having kids. Now, don't have kids if, the obvious reasons, right? But for those of you who are in a financial situation and in a relationship where that can work, don't let your career get in the way. And I've known people who they refuse to have children. Friends of mine, they refuse to have children because they're scared it's going to take away from their career. And nothing can take you away from your career except for you. I promise you that. And it may seem like your kids are taking you away from your career, but it's probably just because you're a little bit lazy. You could probably work a little bit harder. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's where my head is lately. There's nothing better than having children. And I would highly recommend you not be scared of having kids. There's nothing better than holding at least, it's like 50% of who you are. It's like duplicated onto Earth. which is the weirdest thing. You look at your kid and you're like, holy crap, like 50% of me is right there. And then another 50% of you, or 50% is someone you love deeply. And it's manifest into this tiny little, I call him, it's like a creature. My son is super tiny. He was 5.5 pounds, I think, when he was born. Tiny little guy. And he's there. And you're looking at him and you're saying, holy crap, that's me. And it's kind of like game development. You know what I mean? It's like when I make a game and put it onto my iMac or my PC, I'm putting myself into a world. And that's awesome. But it's way more awesome when it's flesh and bone and you see it transform before your eyes into something really special. And this is coming from somebody, again, who does not have a natural predisposition to nurture or being a father. I promise you I'm not. And a lot of you are like, Thomas, you're so nice. You're so cozy. Look at you. You're in your cardigan. Like I'm not, I am not any of those things. You guys don't know what I'm like, and I make a lot of mistakes as a man. You don't know what I'm like out after I turn off this camera. There's a lot of things that I do wrong. I'm impatient. I have a temper sometimes. I get frustrated, and I'm very selfish sometimes, and I just don't have a natural gift for that, for giving away myself. And I'm learning, and I got a lot of room to grow. But I guess my point is that if you don't have a natural predisposition to be a parent, and you're afraid that your career is going to get squashed by having kids, neither of those things are an excuse not to have kids. That's about it. Thanks for listening to me ramble, guys, and thanks for being patient as I took a break off of YouTube. And I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, leave a like, subscribe. Yeah, what am I trying to say? Yeah, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. All right, see ya. Bye.